See if people... Hopefully this works. We've decided to, not work. Ugh. Nothing. Afraid of that. It doesn't look like anyone's joined either. I think it's not broadcasting. Oh! No! Just went up.
Okay, where's the link to this?
Alright, everyone. Finally! The 11th time is a charm. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here on RazörFist Arcade. Terran and I were beating our head against a wall because Sony was being Sony. I can't tell you how happy I am that Sony's in first place so they don't have to fix any of these problems with their console. Go ahead and mute that, dude. Otherwise we're gonna get feedback. And pause it.
How do I into Tumblr?
You just add video from Whip. Oh. It's right there. No, no. What are you doing?
I don't know.
What did you just do?
I don't know.
Video. Click on video. The right one. And then just the link. Yeah. And you can put whatever you want in the... Alright. Sorry guys, we're trying to shout this out to you and then we're going to start in just a beat. We're not only going to play the Resident Evil demo, we're going to talk a bit about E3 because God knows every hacky YouTuber on the planet has made it their cause célèbre to react to E3 in video form. I'm going to go ahead and forego that. We're just going to talk about it. You guys can feel free to ask your questions about E3, about intercourse, whatever you feel like talking about.
Don't set that precedent.
I am joined by Terran.
Hello.
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 Hello. Yes. Hello, everyone. Okay.
Thoughts on Mankind Divided?
Still looks pretty good. I am that multiplayer thing, challenge thing, can die in a fire. What is that called?
The Breach or something like that?
Polygonal Goat Fuck is my working title for this thing.
I honestly think it's just a minigame. I don't think it's multiplayer. It's just time trials.
Well, they went out of their way to advertise it, and it looks like horseshit. So... Alright, everyone.
What do you think of Nintendo's E3 Let's Play? I mean, show this year?
Definitely not as strong as last year's, for certain. I feel like last year Bethesda won the show, and Nintendo was probably in second, just mainly because of Star Fox Zero, although... I've yet to get my hands on Star Fox Zero, so I can't speak to what, how that turned out in the end. So I've heard, conflicting reports of the quality of Star Fox Zero, and God knows Platinum Studios have really been hot and cold lately. I mean, everybody loves Platinum Studios, not me, but everybody else, and yet... Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants in Manhattan, ladies and gentlemen. I'll just leave you with that, just for a moment.
We've actually been playing it recently.
Did you tweet it out?
Yeah, it's tweeted.
Okay, bitchin'. Just wanted to make sure you guys all had the link and whatnot. Alright, so we can probably start doing this.
Thoughts on Technomancer?
I'm excited for Technomancer because I loved Mars Warlogs. You know, I feel like Bound by Warlogs, so if they can improve on that and put it in the sci-fi setting of Mars Warlogs, then, oh my god, we will have a really spectacular RPG. Spiders have really been killing it lately. They're really, unfortunately, one of the only alternatives if you don't like CD Projekt because they support plagiarism, and you don't like BioWare because they're BioWare.
And I think Focus Entertainment is really the only publisher out there right now that's supporting the middle market. I haven't seen anything else that isn't either indie or AAA.
Yeah. Focus Home Interactive are kind of like if South Peak had a clue. It's basically... Alright, let's go... let's make it a little brighter just for the live stream so you guys can see everything clearly. Press any button. Already this doesn't feel like Resident Evil. I should be seeing a waggling joystick at the bottom of the screen right now.
Press X to win.
What sorcery is this? Beginning hour. I have not played this, Turingel has, just for future reference, so if he acts glib at any point, that's why. Okay, so we're in first person.
And I have been told, or at least they have been telling us, that this can play, when the game comes out, it can be played fully in VR or with controller. VR is optional.
I don't have a videotape. Well, yeah, it's 2016. I shall dash them against the stones. That's hardcore. Go back to the shadow. Can I take that, or I just have to set that down?
Thoughts on Norman Reedus' ass?
It's surprisingly flat. You know, a bit like Kojima's writing. Anyways, so let's... What is this? Okay.
Looks like the fuse for the stairs is missing.
No, that's not right. Let's go back to the start and try again. Modern games, they do love to show our hands moving doors aside. Show enough. I'm just gonna bash against it and see what happens. Shit gets rusty. All doors are locked.
Unlike Dark Souls, shit gets cursed. All doors are locked.
What doors? You mean the implied doors?
Right.
We can't tell people anything in Dark Souls. It just has to be implied through ancillary dialogue. It's a fixer-upper, but I see the potential. Somebody get Bob Vila in here, stat. Not because it needs to be fixed up, just because Bob Vila improves everything. Let's be honest, he's Bob Vila. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Oh, that's cool. I don't have a character model, but at least I've got a flashlight model. That's progress. Can't stop progress. Or is it can't kill progress? Wait. Oh? That's right, I need a fuse. Hey! Hey, dickwad.
Those things moved, by the way, if you didn't notice.
Oh, did they? Can you run?
You do. It's Call of Duty Run.
Not by my reckoning.
You click the stick.
Oh, I see. It feels so odd to be using sticks that aren't wiggling in a Resident Evil game. I think we're all a little traumatized by Resident Evil 6, so... Alright, I know. I remember this from the demo. I'm gonna get the Orkin Man in here. Or John Goodman, or... You wanna fuck with me at any point, by the way, guys. One of my biggest phobias is fucking roaches. Alright. Oh, that's appealing. So we're eating British tonight, that's good, okay.
Thoughts on Watch Dogs 2?
Sure is another open world game. Sure is.
Takes place in San Francisco and has these little douchebag hackers that want to hack the planet and save the world with their iPhones.
I did appreciate that incredibly subtle "Make the Bay Area Great Again" moment in the trailer. That reminded me of a jackhammer I once knew.
What was her name again?
Nancy Pelosi. Anyways, so let's... Oh! Hey! Duh! Okay. Oh my god, I have an inventory. So what am I doing here? Am I assigning this to the inventory? What am I doing?
That's just an item, so you can look at it or whatever. I'm guessing the D-pad will be used for weapons.
Oh, so you don't get any weapons in the demo? Way to spoil it, pal.
I'm surprised. Apparently the demo has several endings.
Okay. I'm just gonna go out on a limb here. Someone has played PT. Alright.
Thoughts on Insomniac's Spider-Man?
I'm excited for that. You know, it'd be nice to get a Spider-Man game that isn't a movie licensed piece of shit for once, wouldn't it?
It'd be nice to get a Spider-Man game that's not fucking Activision.
Alright.
Congratulations, you found something I completely missed in the demo when I played it.
Huh? It's no Megan Fox toe thumb, but I'll take it. Hey! Doors are opening. Oh, that's a door I was already in. Oh, there's a thing to look at, I think. I'm gonna look at a thing. No, I'm not.
Thoughts on Nordic God of War?
I've played Skyrim already. I don't need to play Lone Kratos and Cub, the Skyrim edition. I think I'm good. Ooh. Hey! Well, if you're gonna be cheeky about it...
Well, at least you don't have to play Moonlight Sonata. Again.
Every time I hear that, I just think Shadow Man. Am I just stuck in the 64-bit era? Is that just me, guys? Aww. Okay, so what do we need here? I need a fuse. I'm not sure where I'm supposed to acquire one. There's a button up here.
You do have bolt cutters.
Oh yeah, the chain. Breaking the chains around me. Yeah. Done and done. Let's do it. Dawkin would be proud.
Someone suggests trying to use the finger as a fuse. I have no knowledge if that actually works.
It didn't even, the item menu didn't even pop up, so I don't think I even could. Ooh, it's all flickery. Gosh, I do hope there'll be first-person jump scares here. Like, what am I saying? I hope there'll be another first-person jump scare. Hey. Hey. Stop it. Stop it. Okay, we've all played Silent Hill 2. Derelict house footage, Dulvey, June 1st, written on the label. Teenage Tit Freaks 15. Alright, let's do this. Dear Barely Legal.
Boo.
Boo!
How did you find this guy?
Give me a break, Pete.
Sudden hipster
I
beard.
only work with professionals.
Thoughts on Trump becoming God Emperor of mankind?
That was 2 fucking years
No
ago.
point in me having thoughts, it's just gonna happen. And it's gonna be huge.
I'm not feeling it. Again? Just don't be surprised if we have to make a change.
Also, I'm very impressed that you get to play this little piece of the
We'll walk
past.
through the inside first. Then we'll see.
Interactive instead of just
like we
watching a
always do.
cutscene.
Just try to say the show
You find yourself interacting with a lot of videotapes in your life?
tonight.
Yes! Yes, I do.
Happy?
Alright.
Stat.
You just call him Atten? Isn't the name of a character from KOTOR 2? The great big ribbed for her pleasure vest? And a gymongous pompadour?
Are we rolling? Alright, let's go.
Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Undertaker bursts out of there.
Here's one. People are wanting to know what you think of Overwatch.
It's live.
I'm just kind of done with Blizzard. After I played StarCraft 2 and was sort of disappointed, I've sort of given up on Blizzard. I honestly don't care. Plus, I already played Team Fortress.
Do you ever prep? What's the prep?
It's just not my kind of game.
Ooh, is it haunted?
I mean, I've never made any secret of... I'll play a multiplayer game here and there, but I'm really more of a single-player gamer.
You know?
Weekend sub, Pete. Not anchor.
What's that?
Nothing.
I think this guy needs to condition.
What's the story, Andre?
Abandoned farmhouse, missing family, foul play suspected. The usual.
Get your ectoplax charged. Sorry, copyright infringement.
Clancy, get a shot of this. Let's make a great cutaway. So, Hillbilly Joe and his family go missing.
Not hillbillies, the Bakers. Jack and Marguerite Baker. And they were quiet, not back.
Ah, no roaches.
Bad rumors about their son, Lucas. Bad seed, apparently.
That makes no sense.
Ah, shit. I know I should have worn my good shoes. Oh, shit. Glad I had my shot. Although,
I don't know, man. This isn't far off from being a passive observer.
Andre, what do you think? Andre? Andre? Andre?
Oh.
Clancy, you see where Andre went?
Gross.
Where is
Yeah,
he?
we're short on random mangled corpses. Gotta hit up Safeway.
That guy. I mean, producers, they come and go, but a good cameraman like you, Clancy, you stick with me.
Alright. You know this isn't a real ghost show because they're not sitting in the dark pretending to be scared of things that aren't there.
Did you hear that?
God, I'm afraid to ask this one.
What?
Thoughts on gun control?
I already did a video on that.
Andre? Where the fuck is he?
It is called All Guns Blazing. If you're so inclined, I recommend you view it.
Andre, where are you, man?
Dude, where's my cameraman?
What the hell?
The fireplace is breathing.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
The fireplace has emphysema, apparently.
We find Andre and we go. I mean, fuck this show.
That was an edgy use of a pejorative. That speaks to me and my generation.
What do you think of Last Guardian?
Nothing at all. What?
What do you think of Last Guardian?
I'm not a fan of Shadow of the Colossus, and never was. So I was never hyped for Last Guardian to begin with. It sure does look like the game I thought it was going to be. I mean, I guess if that's what you want, then that's good. I just personally don't think Ico is all that great. Or whatever the... What's the fucking studio's name? It's Ico, right? Ico Studio.
It's
Team Ico.
It's a Sony first party.
Yeah, they've never tickled me in my no places. Just not my cup of moonshine.
What do you see? What is it?
My nigga. Oh, that's gonna leave a mark.
Well, that's fun.
Sorry, folks. I had to check your comments real quick. All right. So we're back to the present day. We are back to current year.
I think you should probably check in front of the TV. I think there was something there.
You got some Laffy Taffy? Okay. I don't know what I did, buddy. Well, fuck you too, then. Alright. No? Fund public housing, they said. Okay, so that didn't get me any closer to a fuse.
What do you think of Vampire?
Didn't really see it. What conference was that shown at?
I don't think they had a conference, but they did release a trailer with some gameplay.
I didn't see it. Yeah, so I couldn't tell you. Couldn't be worse than Dark.
Speaking for myself, I'm looking forward to it. I'm a big fan of
No.
the art design and the lighting. Looks really good. But I would still have to see more.
Come on now.
Any thoughts on Mafia 3?
Could be cool. Again, was this not just the year of, like, could we say open world, like, one more time this year? I mean, I like a good open world game, but damn. Every game does not have to be open world. Not every game should be open world. Mafia's always been open world, although I will say, you know, playing Mafia 2, did you say to yourself, man, this had to be open world? Like, this is the only way this game would work.
It was an open world game that was on rails. I mean, really, there was nothing to do.
Yeah, well, you could collect some pervy magazines, so that's it. Some Playboys without tits in them. That's always a nice little case of blue balls, no? Where am I supposed to go? Any idea?
The tape did show you that there was something in the fireplace.
Oh, did it? That's right. I is smart. I have thoughts and feelings and opinions.
Now, what did you think of Detroit?
It's a hellhole that everyone's moving away from? What do you mean?
That's a good point.
Half of our population is from there? What do you mean? Oh! The immortal words of Gold Dust. You failed to guard the back door. Come on now. Okay, so I can get the hell out of here, presumably. Sir, can I interest you in a copy of the Watchtower? Alright. Well, that's not the back door. I'm just gonna follow Sunburn Fred Mertz over here.
What are your thoughts on the new Quake?
I'm excited that there's a new Quake. Hey. Alright. You gotta go throwing Daryl Hannah at me. Wait, that was Splash. Who was Mannequin?
Oh my god.
Who was Mannequin?
Hold on, now I gotta look it up.
It was someone. Aight.
Welcome to the family.
What? Fred Mertz?
Kim Cattrall.
That's right. Famous person.
We gotta get the hell out of here.
Is there even a point in having Kim Cattrall in anything if she's not gonna get naked? Is that even allowed? Wow! Well, that'll buff right out. Still better editing than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. Is that it?
That is it, unless you want to try it again and get another ending.
That's not happening.
Didn't find the fuse, or apparently there's an axe too. I don't know.
I got a key! And I got out the back door, which is a thing. So that's definitely a thing. Hit us with some more questions and then we'll call it a night. We didn't want this to be long anyways, that's why we did a fucking demo, so.
Any other questions, guys? Do you watch any sports?
Yeah, I love baseball. I used to play it. My shoulder is still fucked up from it.
Thoughts on Holy Terror?
Not good, but underrated at the same time. Pretty bad art. Not as bad as people say it is. Frank Miller's art has always been kind of janky. You know, he was only really good artistically, and I wouldn't even say, like, blindingly good. He was good at lighting. That's Frank Miller's thing. He's a storyteller, right? You read his Daredevil stuff, and it's like brilliant lighting, brilliant page setups, brilliant breakdowns, but the actual anatomy is wonky as shit and just doesn't make that much sense. He's always been that way. He's just inking himself now, and that's the only major difference.
People really want to know what you think of Zelda, the new one.
I'm excited. Myself and Terrangel yesterday watched about 30 minutes of gameplay, uninterrupted gameplay of it, and it looks badass.
I was really impressed with the physics. The fact that a lot of enemies will just drop weapons, and even though those weapons seem to have durability, it just leaves me with questions. Can you repair those weapons? Will you be able to talk to NPCs?
Yeah, and not only that, but the only gripe I have, and I'm sure you would back me up on this, is the music is a little sparse. It seems like there's not a whole lot of soundtrack in there. Now, that could be because it's early, although it looks like they're pretty damn far along. If they're not near release, they certainly will be soon. So that was my only gripe. It just, you play Zelda and you expect that fanfare. Even if it's not the classic Zelda theme, you at least expect some kind of big Imperial March sounding piece of shit, right? Didn't really get that from the demo. There was the occasional little ambient flourish of music, but it didn't feel very Zelda to me.
Yeah, I'm really hoping we get the overworld theme.
I did love, I loved the use of physics. I loved I loved the raft using the leaf to put wind into the sails of the raft. I thought that was brilliant, and cutting down the logs to turn it into a bridge.
I never thought in a million years you'd be able to cut down trees.
The cooking, I mean, it seems like there's a lot of detail in it. I'm just a little more concerned. We didn't see much in the way of story, which is really crucial for Zelda. We are gonna build the wall, and who's gonna pay for it? Sorry. Anyway. I'm just looking at the comments section. Gentlemen, you just made my wall 10 feet higher.
A lot of people are asking about Otherworld Studios and System Shock 3. What do you think?
You mean Other Side Entertainment?
Other Side Entertainment, sorry.
I'm so excited. Other Side are one of the few studios that have a clue right now, and I'm hoping I know System Shock 3 will do well just because of license. Number one, and people have been waiting for it for so damn long. We all know that's going to do well, even if it's crap, which I don't see happening because of the people involved, and because they're not beholden to a major publisher right now. I am interested to see when Underworld Ascendant comes around, because that's the one that's coming out before System Shock 3. I'll be interested to see. I think they would be well served to go through a publisher, after it's already finished. They already kickstarted it. They don't need any money. They just need someone to distribute it, get it out there in the proper marketplace, physical copies.
And I will say this before we take one last question. That cock tease at the PC conference of Battlefield, or not Battlefield, BattleTech, where the guy just came on stage
and said it's happening.
And said it's happening and showed off the same concept art. I'm like, come on, show me something. Show me anything.
I did like Warren Spector's little moment where he was talking about how PC gaming is pulling ahead right now, and I definitely feel that. I absolutely do. Because while hardware sales for the PS4 and Xbox One are really strong, software sales are much less so. And it feels like PC is doing the opposite right now, via platforms like Steam and goodoldgames.com, and to a lesser extent, Origin. But anyway, yeah. To a far lesser extent.
You want a reason to own a console, it's to avoid Origin.
And do you play?
Oh, there you go.
But anyway, yeah, no... That's what I think Warren Spector hit the nail on the head with that, as he usually does. It was interesting to see his reversal on VR, though. Because remember, late last year, he was like, VR's a gimmick, it's never going to catch on. I do think it's going to catch on in the same way that the Move and the Kinect caught on, but I did not see anything from VR this year that was anything but shovelware to me. I didn't.
Yeah.
They showed how many games in rapid succession at the Sony conference, and none of them were they're all on rails, clearly, every single one of them.
Or games that existed already but are having the first person forced upon them, like
as
Final Fantasy 15.
As an option, which, guys, if you think that's what's going to save VR, why? It didn't save the Wii U. The Wii U did that, where it tacked on a gimmick on top of a game that was already made with the little touchpad and the extra screen.
Go ahead and hand me the controller. I'll go through it for a little bit.
Okay.
Also, we'll take a couple more here. What did you think of Kojima's little Death Stranding trailer? I'm sure you got something to say about that.
Somebody on Twitter put it really well. It looks like what happens when nobody tells Kojima no.
Yeah.
That's really what it felt like. And I have to say, the moment of the night, I also said this on Twitter, the moment of the night for me was actually after. If anyone out there watched the YouTube stream, not the GameSpot, not the IGN, whatever, if you watched the YouTube stream of IGN, it was after the Sony conference when Jeff Keighley sat there and filleted Hideo Kojima in his chair, basically. And somehow Hideo Kojima found the only translator with an accent thicker than his. And so they're talking to him, and then Kojima, basically, Keighley at some point grows a dick and asks him straight, what is this game? What's the gameplay? And Kojima hemmed a skirt around the issue, the likes of which, I mean, it should have been immortalized in Gabardine. There was absolutely... It is so abundantly clear that Kojima has no game. He has not created this game yet. He has, at best, early tech demos. I am of the firm belief that Kojima created this trailer before he had a game ready. Number one, because he really couldn't have been working on the game all this time, because he has a no-compete clause in his contract. So we know he can't have been.
Right.
And number two, because it's clear he was sitting there equivocating for like 15 minutes and really said nothing of substance on the subject of this game. So maybe it'll be good, but we can't really speculate because the game does not exist. All we have is a trailer, and I bet that's all Kojima has too. Hey!
There is something important to note that the engine that they used for the trailer was a
Modified Fox engine?
No. Oh God, no.
Oh, that's right. He probably doesn't have the rights to that.
He can't.
Yeah.
It's one of the...
Which is good. That engine's a piece of shit and an outmoded turd anyway.
It's, quote-unquote, one of the candidate engines. So there were people lined up to have Kojima make a game with their engine.
Yeah.
Have you seen Civil War yet?
No, sadly. I've told this story already. Terran invited me to go see Civil War with him and a few of his friends, and I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And I came down, and it was opening day in this movie theater's defense. But I went down there, and I had money, and I was ready to go, and I was actually early. I was a good, 30 minutes early.
40. You were 40 minutes early.
Yeah, I was 40 minutes early for the film, and I was turned away because it was sold out. And then Terran goes into the theater, and half of the theater is empty.
Yeah, most people know, if you've seen a theater, of course you have, most people sit in the upper rows and try to fill out the middle, and then there's the
front rows, which are usually empty.
Front rows, which are usually empty. Some of them have handicap seats. All of those were empty.
Every fling and flang and
I can only imagine those seats went to scalpers.
Yeah. In the immortal words of Iron Sheik, it was fucking bullshit.
Any more questions, guys?
But yeah, I've heard it's good. Terran seemed to enjoy it.
I did. I like how it went with a different approach. Instead of the Superhuman Registration Act, it was the Sokovia Accords, and people were fairly split down the middle on it. Instead of just having it being so polarized. But it still didn't feel right because there were so few heroes involved. I think it may have happened just
we should switch spots here.
A little early.
I'll grab that and just move it.
Alright. My turn.
Okay, he's playing right now, so I'm gonna answer your questions as much as I can. Alright.
I'm just looking for shit.
Yeah, We Happy Few did look pretty boss, and Alpha Omega Sin, Jesus Christ, his erection was knocking low-flying traffic copters out of orbit. He was all about that game. That crack would make a good foothold, Snake. Heard the X-Men movie sucked? Yeah. Were you standing within 5 miles of the blast radius? It was pretty bad. Blade Runner. Yeah, which Blade Runner are you referring to? That's the thing. Although I would frankly like to review both of them, so it's sort of immaterial. Ask about future of Other Side Entertainment and future of Looking Glass Studios IPs. Or if they buy them. Yeah, I was just about to say that when I kind of got distracted. That's what I would like to see. I was halfway there. System Shock 3 is going to do it well, as I said, because the IP is... people have been waiting for it for so long. They're at least going to make their money back. But the big question to me is, I think after that, they're going to have some extra capital. And with that money, I would love to see them put in an offer for the Thief IP. Because it's... let's be honest here, guys. Yeah, they quote-unquote greenlit a Thief movie, which, by the way, is going to bomb. It is at that point, especially if you release that movie and then it bombs, which we know it all will. We all know that it will. I think if you're Square Enix, you have to look at this IP and say, this is valueless to us. This has absolutely no utility in our catalog of IP. So why not at that point entertain offers for buying it? I mean, the only reason Square Enix has the license to it is because Eidos bought it when Looking Glass went out of business, which was bullshit, and they were kind of screwed out of it. It's a weird situation. When Looking Glass Studios went out of business, they actually got to keep a lot of the IPs, believe it or not. Thief was one of the few exceptions, and that's because it was one of their biggest commercial successes. It was one of their few million unit sellers, which was a lot back then in the late 90s. To sell 1 million units was a big deal, especially for a stealth game. But that's what I would like to see. I would like to see them put in an offer with Squeenix. I think it would be worth it. Think about it. If they put up a Kickstarter right now, donate as much as you can so we can buy the Thief franchise. I mean, do you have any idea how dedicated the Thief fan base is? There would be people donating their left nut. You have no idea.
Thousands of dollars. They would, for each person.
Shadow comics to avoid. I would say the Andrew Helfer, Bill Sienkiewicz, what is it, like the 87 Shadow DC series. I mean, it started out okay if you like the Howard Chaykin stuff. So for those who don't know, there's a great Shadow comic in 86 that was kind of like, it came out the same year as The Dark Knight Returns, and it was basically The Dark Knight Returns for the Shadow. And so you shot the Shadow into the future. What, did he come out of the fucking ceiling? How did that work?
He appeared out of nowhere.
Come out of nowhere at all. Nowhere at all. Anyways, so they shoot... It's kind of the same idea as The Dark Knight Returns. They shot the Shadow into the future. He kind of was... Only instead of getting older and being a wizened, like how Batman is in The Dark Knight Returns, he hasn't aged at all. Because of various reasons. I won't spoil it for you, but it's really interesting. And yet all the agents of the Shadow have aged. Including Margot, who he left in like the 40s, and she's bitter and pissed off at him. It's really interesting. It's actually a really cool comic. And then all the agents of the Shadow are suddenly being hunted down and murdered randomly. And so the Shadow comes back basically to avenge their deaths and figure out why his agents are being targeted. It was really cool, and then the series after it, they spun out an ongoing, and Howard Chaykin didn't want to be involved with it. And that was mistake number one. They never should have gone forward with it, and it was a piece of shit. The other one that I would recommend you avoid, and I think anyone, the moment you even say this out loud, would automatically assume it's dog shit, and you would be correct, is the Archie Comics The Shadow series from the 60s. Where they put him in fucking purple spandex and gave him a cape, and he was blonde for some reason. They turned him into a superhero. And it was goddamn ridiculous. It is every bit as goddamn ridiculous as it sounds. Okay. Someone doing a little papier-mâché here? The hell is papier-mâché? Thoughts on Telltale doing Batman? What do you think?
I agree with other people when they say, I hope you don't play as Batman. I hope it's another character that's not Batman that'll actually have the freedom to make choices.
Yeah.
Because when you're Batman, you can't kill anybody. You can't do anything. You
know what I think would be cool? To kind of take a Gotham approach. Or Gotham City Central. Let's not insult this premise.
About to say.
Gotham City Central, the much better comic that shitty show was supposed to be based on, but ultimately wasn't. It would be interesting. You play as a detective. Play as Harvey Bullock. I don't care who you play as. Just someone that isn't Batman, so you can actually make some goddamn choices. That'd be pretty good. That'd be pretty cool. That's the thing. It's a Telltale game. I think you have to emphasize the forensics, which is always something we wanted to see out of Batman. I think everybody, it's cool to fist fight. It's cool to glide around. It's cool to use all the gadgets, but it always felt like the forensics and the, crime scene investigation shit in the Arkham games was always a little bit undercooked. It'd be cool to explore that, personally. Warcraft movie thoughts. Have you seen that yet, man?
No, and I have no intention to.
Yeah.
When I first saw that trailer, it looked like the guy's armor was made out of plastic. They looked like cosplay.
And yet, the day... You remember when that trailer was revealed? There were people on my feed saying it was the most realistic CGI they'd ever seen in their lives.
Oh, that's such horse shit.
And it hurt my soul to hear that, because my eyeballs work, folks. No.
Sure the sound was right this time. I don't want to get them to
That was 2 fucking years ago.
I don't do ADR.
Fuck this shit. I'm out. How did we get here? There's no...
I know.
We can walk through the inside first. Then
You climbed over that massive wall of boulders, surrounded by an invisible wall.
Okay?
no problem.
Tonight, sewer cleaners. Another worthless fucking shit. Happy
Such physics.
stat.
Much horror. Wow.
Mankind Divided. Again, you guys already asked me about this, but I actually didn't really finish my thought. The actual gameplay, I like that they're adding a little bit more in terms of assault options. What I worry with this game is the story. I think that's the crucial element. If the story doesn't make sense, then I think you're up shit's creek. Because the last game didn't have a whole lot of conspiracy shit in it, which is really like of the essence of Deus Ex. That game's fantastic. I would not change anything about it, except maybe the boss fights. But they took care of that in the director's cut. Mankind Divided, I would like to see less emphasis on boss fights. Even if there's lots of different ways to tackle them, I think you gotta have less boss fights, and you have to have more interesting scenarios.
What's the story, Andre?
And more narrative divergence.
Also, it'd be nice if the bosses were a bit more fleshed out, like in the Missing Link DLC.
Yeah.
How long did you say this place has been abandoned?
But I would just like less bosses in general. Like, I always felt like the bosses were tacked on. You know, Deus Ex 1 had how many boss fights? Like 2 in the entire game. And one of them you could completely avoid.
Not hillbillies, the bakers. Jack and Marguerite Baker. And they were quiet, not back. A lot of bad rumors about their son, Lucas. It's bad seed carrying.
Oh, no wonder. There's an invisible wall. You can't actually follow him.
Oh my.
Look at this bullshit.
Welcome to 2016, my friend.
Backdrop. Andre, what do you think?
I was like, next time I play this, I'm gonna follow that motherfucker. Well, now you can't.
Oh, the class is just jumping off the screen here.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Where is he?
Future Metal Mythos episodes. Well, I got Razor. I'm in the middle of editing it right now, so hopefully sometime this
They
week.
come and go, but a good cameraman like you, Clancy,
Oh, that's lovely.
you stick with me.
I don't know.
It won't even let me press it in this timeline.
I mean, depending on what is. Oh, that was an outlet.
Yeah. I've decided not to follow the douchebag this time.
Oh, headphones.
Interesting.
Those weren't there before. Swipe those. Those things are expensive in real life.
Can't.
That's some bullshit.
Freedom of choice.
That's some bullshit. Favorite games magazine? Sure. Name one that still exists.
Oh, you haven't heard about Game Informer? Well, hold on. Let me tell you. Let me stop, put the demo down for a second, and tell you, if you buy a year of Game Informer magazine, you get our Platinum card, which takes 10% off all used games, all used accessories, too.
Folks, go back and play that back in the video in the future. You can actually, if you really squint, if you listen closely, you can actually hear Terrangel's soul leave his body.
Yeah, I don't...
Assassin's Creed movie thoughts. Do we even have any? Was any thought put into the movie? Let's be honest.
It is not even on my radar.
What the fuck was that?
Man, come on! Those green screen effects were stellar. They were interstellar.
Andre?
Speaking of interstellar, did you know Love Conquers All? Did you know?
Yeah,
Did you know?
and space magic bullshit.
Space magic bullshit.
Andre, what's up, man?
I still say the theme that should have played at the end of that movie is Huey Lewis and the News, The Power of Love. that would have driven the entire theme home with considerably more subtlety than Chris Nolan did.
And that's missing in the past, too. I have searched everywhere. Can't touch this. No, sorry.
Oh. Too easy.
What the hell?
TMNT 1 or 2? Oh, come on, 1. 2 isn't even in 1's league.
Alright, new deal.
I mean, 1 is basically a straight adaptation of the 4th Turtles graphic novel. The new, what is it, Northampton storyline where they, you know, Splinter gets captured and they run off to... No, I don't even think that's actually what happened. Yeah, Leonardo gets the shit kicked out of him when he's patrolling the rooftops. And then they run off to Northampton because Shredder has come back, mysteriously. Because as everyone knows, Shredder died in the first Turtles comic. I mean, he died hard.
Did they ever explain that? Like, okay, this
Oh, it's
guy's
his son.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, like, did they ever explain why his popularity was so that he was in the cartoons, he was in the movies? It's like, did they have other villains?
It wasn't... Honestly, Shredder was only brought back because the Turtles didn't have an arch nemesis. So, you know, Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird never intended to bring him back. He was killed in the first comic. And the first comic was never supposed to have a second issue. It was Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird got really high and watched a lot of bad kung fu movies. And randomly... Now, did those not look like the zombies from Deadly Premonition?
Kind of.
I'm expecting you, and then the crab walk.
Yeah, I'm looking everywhere, and I'm not seeing a fuse or any of the other objects that people have talked about when playing the demo. I'd have to watch the actual Let's Plays of other people doing this shit who have time and no lives.
Well, that shouldn't be hard to find.
Would it actually let me do this again? I'm not going to tempt fate, because I don't care that much.
Yeah, I don't know what else you could do, honestly. I didn't notice anything different. What is a train brake doing in a fucking chimney?
Because houses in the Deep South are scary.
Someone just said, don't put in the tape.
Yeah, you don't want to go through that again.
Thoughts on the new Shadow comics, Death of Margot Lane and Twilight Zone? Twilight Zone is pretty cool, and it's interesting. Walter Gibson, the creator of the Shadow, actually wrote the Twilight Zone. He wrote a few of the episodes, and I think he wrote some of the Twilight Zone books as well, if I'm not mistaken. So it's kind of an interesting little Easter egg that they did, the Shadow Twilight Zone. It's interesting, and as of the end of the last issue, it seems like it's going somewhere, I don't know, fairly interesting. It's not like it's one of the best Shadow comics I've ever read, but it's not bad. Death of Margot Lane is one of the best Shadow comics I've read in a long time. Matt Wagner just gets it with that character. He absolutely gets it. Do not make my backdoor mistake. Why can't you drop down there?
There's no ladder.
Fucking what?
Yeah, I know. Dude, we looked at the back door. It's just a pane of glass and a wood frame. But we need the key to get out.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I hate contrivances like that in the game. The worst
Or,
one...
well, I think the worst one is when a minute ago you couldn't pass the couch because there was an invisible wall, but...
The worst one I ever saw was Dark Souls 2. There is a door that needs the 4 great souls of gods to open.
Yeah.
To the right, there is a path with a couple of broken stone columns. And it's like, you look at this thing, and it's not even as tall as you are. Any child could climb over these.
Yeah.
But apparently both paths go to the same place, and I asked the developers, why would you even put that path there? Why not just have the door?
Yeah.
It's insanely stupid. I see you. Oh god, you're a ghost. You walked into a wall.
Maybe that's where you need to go. Huh? A little broom closet with nothing in it, huh? Was that Nutella? Is that Nutella? No, it's
Nishilla.
That is totally Nutella. That is a parody of Nutella right there.
I can't tell what it says. It looked like a biscuit or something. And
Gams! It's a can of Gams.
Gamera?
Well, folks, we found canned Gamera. I think we have hit the rock bottom of this demo.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else you would find. Just try... Go upstairs. There was a noise. That was a thing. Go head on.
The boxes are back in place. Well, I really hope you can interact with more stuff in the actual
Yeah, it does not feel very tactile at all. It's very much a walking simulator. Someone shouted that out earlier, and I can't disagree. Oh, can you move them?
Oh god! Oh!
What? What has science done?
Oh.
What are you doing?
I'm existing in the same place as an object. I can't do this. Oh Jesus.
I just like to point out as well that this demo, beyond what we just witnessed, where'd the third box go?
There it is. I don't know how I did it.
You are trashing this place like a shit-faced Motley Crue, my friend. Now you just need to throw the TV out the window. That's all you need.
Yeah. And hit on some Yakuza's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Uncharted 4? Well,
it's certainly a game.
Yeah, it's certainly another Uncharted game. I said that last year, incidentally, at E3 when everyone was like, oh my god, they ended with Uncharted 4, Sony totally won! It was just so fucking... It's sad. So I said this morning, it's so funny to watch people emerge from the E3 hype tornado. Just... Oh, can you actually...
No. It appears to only come up when you actually have the object that you need. Which, in that case, I'd be like, well then, why would you even bother bringing up the prompt?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it just be automatically used? Of course, we're tearing apart a demo that's not even alpha or representative of the final project.
No Man's Sky will flop, someone just said. I don't know if I would predict that, but I know it's not going to be what people thought it was.
I actually had a theory about that. What if the delay was because they're going to force VR onto it? I could see that happening.
Well, here's the thing. It was like the fourth delay. It was 5, honestly, if you count one of the rumors. So, I mean, and the first delay was long before the VR thing was really being pushed down our throats. So, and that whole thing happened where their offices were flooded or something, and it's just weird. Every time they're about to hit a milestone or hit, like, what's supposed to be a deadline, something magically happens and they just can't do it. It seems a little too convenient. And then just looking at No Man's Sky, I've said this before, I'll say it again, I'm seeing the open world, I'm seeing the planetary exploration, the destructible environments, the space flight. What I'm not really seeing yet, and no one on the No Man's Sky has really demonstrated to me yet, is a game. I'm not seeing what's the goal. What's the narrative? Why are we moving forward? Is it just a tech demo?
They said that the whole point is to get to the center of the galaxy. Apparently there's something there.
Which again, like, does that not sound wafer thin to you?
No, it's totally just there to be there. I think it's just supposed to be an exploration game. And I'm sorry, guys, but I do not see anything different in this demo.
Someone just asked, is life ultimately meaningless? Yes, and you'll die alone.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Of course, I'm gonna look up a video on this later and feel like a complete idiot because I missed something, but whatever.
I don't know how you could be feel like an idiot. You've gone over this with a fine-tooth comb. It seems like a lot of this is contextual. Like, some of it doesn't activate until you do something. And I don't know where this fucking mythical fuse is.
Who keeps putting those boxes back? What the hell?
Apparently Goldilocks has been through here. What is that? Oh!
The mythical third floor, where we can go up to the stairs, but without the fuse, we can't lower the stairs.
Gotcha, okay.
I'm almost tempted.
Yeah, I just didn't notice that originally.
Well, whatever. This is long overdue to be over anyway, so fuck it. A mystery to be solved for another day.
Welcome to the family, son.
Oh!
Oh well, folks.
Alright, we hope you enjoyed this. We did the same riveting for you all to watch. But we were overdue for one of these, so thanks everyone for joining us. And this game makes no sense. God fuck us.